Upon a time in a beautiful forest, there lived a little girl named Masha. She was full of energy and loved to explore.
Wow.
Masha was very curious about everything she saw around her. One day, while wandering in the forest, Masha came upon a cozy house. It was the house of a big, gentle bear. The bear was very kind and loved to take care of Masha, even though she could be quite mischievous. On this sunny day, Bear decided to have a picnic by the river. He packed a basket full of delicious food, sandwiches, fruits, juice, and honey. He carried the picnic basket and waved to Masha. "Let's go on an adventure, Masha." Masha was so excited. She loved picnics. She grabbed her little red bag and followed Bear down the forest path. As they walked through the forest, Masha ran ahead, chasing butterflies and picking flowers. Bear smiled and watched over her, making sure she was safe. Finally, they reached a beautiful spot by the river. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and everything looked perfect for a picnic. Bear spread out the blanket and started setting up the food. But before Bear could finish, Masha got hungry. "I'm hungry, Bear. Can I eat now?" she asked. Bear chuckled and said, "Not yet, Masha. Let's wait a little longer." But Masha couldn't wait. She sneaked over to the basket and grabbed a sandwich. She took a big bite and smiled. "Yummy," she said. Bear didn't mind. He loved seeing Masha happy. But just as they were about to start eating, a family of ducks came waddling by. Masha got excited and wanted to feed them. She threw pieces of bread into the water, and the ducks quacked with joy. After playing with the ducks, Masha spotted a squirrel in a tree. "Look, Bear! A squirrel!" she shouted. She chased the squirrel, trying to play with it. The squirrel ran from tree to tree, and Masha laughed and giggled. Bear watched Masha, making sure she didn't get into too much trouble. After all, Masha was always full of energy. After a while, Masha finally sat down, tired from all the running. "Phew, I'm tired, Bear," she said. Bear smiled and handed her a cup of juice. Together, they ate their picnic by the river, enjoying the peaceful sound of the water and the warm sun. When they were done, Bear packed up the basket, and Masha lay down on the blanket. "That was fun," Masha said with a big yawn. Bear nodded and said, "Yes, it was, Masha." And soon, Masha fell fast asleep under the big tree, with Bear sitting beside her, watching over her like always.
One day in the jungle, a small elephant named Moto was playing with his friends. Moto was very small, and he often felt that he wasn't as strong or brave as the other elephants or big animals in the jungle. He always felt weak and helpless. There was a dangerous lion in the jungle called Babur, who often roamed around scaring the smaller animals, sometimes even hunting them. All the animals were afraid of him and would hide whenever he appeared. One day, Babur the lion announced that he would soon hunt all the animals in the jungle. Fear spread through the jungle, and silence took over. The animals gathered in one place, desperately discussing what to do next. Everyone was scared, and just the mention of Babur's name made them shiver. Moto was there too, quietly listening to all the talk. With a determined heart, he said, "I can defeat Babur." The animals were shocked and burst into laughter. "You're so small, how can you defeat Babur the lion?" But Moto was firm in his heart. His eyes sparkled with determination, and there was a spark of bravery in his soul. He ignored his friends' laughter and decided to roam through different parts of the jungle to gather information about Babur the lion. Moto soon discovered that Babur was proud and short-tempered, but could easily be tricked. With this knowledge, he came up with a dangerous but clever plan. He gathered all the animals and said, "If we all work together and smartly deceive the lion, we can defeat him." Night was approaching, and Babur's arrival was imminent. Moto told his friends to hide behind the trees, and when the lion entered the jungle, they would make strange and frightening noises. As soon as Babar entered the jungle, he felt an unusual tension in the air. Suddenly, from all sides, strange and terrifying noises began coming from behind the trees. Babar stopped in his tracks, fear filling his eyes. He roared, but the strange noises only grew louder. He tried to listen closely, but the hidden animals' noises confused him even more. Babar began to think that some huge, dangerous creature was stalking him. Moto then launched the final part of his plan. He pushed a large rock down towards the lion. Babar saw the rock rolling towards him and in terror dashed away, thinking a massive beast was chasing him. The jungle was once again filled with joy, but no one knew that it was all due to Moto's cleverness. The animals were baffled as to why Babar ran away. Moto remained silent, but his heart was full of joy and pride, knowing he had saved the entire jungle with his intelligence. Please subscribe my channel for more amazing stories.
The sun was shining brightly, and Masha, a cheerful and mischievous girl, set off for a walk in the forest. She always loved exploring new places and making new friends. As she walked, she suddenly heard a soft sound. It seemed like someone was calling for help. Masha started following the sound. After a little while, Masha saw a small, cute panda named Pippin stuck in some bushes. His soft, fluffy fur and big, innocent eyes made Masha rush to help him out of the bushes. "Thank you, Masha," Pippin said happily. "I was looking for bamboo and I got stuck here." Masha smiled and said, "Don't worry, Pippin. We'll find the bamboo forest together and we'll have lots of fun along the way." The two of them set off together. Along the path, they saw magical plants glowing with colorful lights, floating in the air. Masha was amazed.
Wow.
This must be an enchanted forest. Suddenly, a chatty rabbit hopped over to them. The rabbit said, "Hey, do you want to play a magical game? This forest is full of magic everywhere." Masha and Pippin laughed and said, "Why not?" The rabbit twirled its ears in the air, and in the blink of an eye, a magical carpet appeared before them. They both sat on the carpet, and it began to fly. As they looked down, they saw various animals: colorful birds, magical squirrels, and owls singing in the trees under the twinkling stars. As they flew, they arrived at a magical lake whose water shimmered as if stars were floating in it. Suddenly, a golden fish jumped out of the water and said, "If you swim with me, I'll show you the way to a magical treasure." Masha and Pippin were amazed, but immediately agreed. They followed the golden fish and reached the treasure hidden beneath the lake. There, they found a whole forest made of bamboo trees, and Pippin exclaimed joyfully, "Here's my bamboo!" Masha laughed and said, "We saw such a magical world, and now you've found your bamboo too." Pippin happily started munching on the bamboo, while Masha sat by the lake, watching the magical scene. As night began to fall and the stars sparkled in the sky, Masha and Pippin sat back on the magical carpet and began their journey home. On the way, a magical owl flew alongside them and said, "Every night is magical, and every day brings a new adventure. You two are brave, and you'll always find something new." Masha happily replied, "Yes, and tomorrow we'll be ready for another new adventure." Pippin smiled with joy and said,
Wow.
"This has been the best day of my life." And so, under the starry sky, Masha and Pippin returned home with memories of their magical adventure. Please subscribe my channel.
In a far-off land, hidden behind a veil of sparkling waterfalls, lay the enchanted Forest of Dreams. Here, animals talked, flowers danced, and magic filled the air. Palwasha, a kind-hearted explorer, stumbled upon this mystical forest while chasing a butterfly. As she wandered deeper into the woods, she met a little elephant named Ellie and a little tiger named Raja. Ellie's trunk twinkled with glittering stars, and Raja's stripes shimmered like the golden sun. They became fast friends, and their laughter echoed through the forest. One day, the Forest Queen, A wise owl named Luna summoned the trio. "The Forest of Dreams is fading," she said, her eyes shining with concern. "A wicked sorcerer has stolen the magical crystal of dreams. Without it, our forest will disappear." Palwasha, Ellie and Raja bravely offered to retrieve the crystal. Luna gifted them a map and 3 magical items. Palwasha received a necklace that allowed her to communicate with animals. Ellie got a pair of wings to fly over obstacles. Raja obtained a cloak of invisibility. Together they embarked on their quest. They crossed shimmering rivers, outsmarted mischievous fairies, and solved puzzles hidden within ancient trees. As they neared the sorcerer's fortress, the trio encountered illusions and challenges. But with teamwork and quick thinking, they overcame each hurdle. Inside the fortress, they found the sorcerer, who cast a spell to confuse them. Palwasha used her necklace to understand the language of the sorcerer's parrot, who revealed the crystal's location. Ellie flew over traps to reach the crystal, while Raja snuck past guards, unseen. Together, they retrieved the Crystal of Dreams and returned it to Luna. The Forest of Dreams regained its vibrancy. Flowers bloomed brighter, and animals rejoiced. Palwasha, Ellie and Raja became heroes, their bond and bravery forever etched in the forest's heart. From that day forward, whenever children dreamed of magical adventures, the Forest of Dreams whispered stories of Palwasha, Ellie and Raja, inspiring them to chase their own fantastical journeys. Please subscribe my channel.
At a time, there was a little boy named Tommy who loved his teddy bear more than anything in the world. His teddy's name was Mr. Snuggles, and they were inseparable. They went everywhere together. To the park, to the store, and even to bed. One sunny day, Tommy and his family went to the park for a picnic. Tommy was so excited that he forgot to hold on to Mr. Snuggles tightly. As he was running around playing tag with his friends, he let go of his teddy's paw. Before he knew it, Mr. Snuggles was nowhere to be found. Tommy searched high and low for his beloved teddy, but he couldn't find him anywhere. He started to feel scared and sad. His mom and dad tried to comfort him, but nothing could take away the pain of losing Mr. Snuggles. Just as Tommy was about to give up hope, he heard a small squeak coming from behind a big tree. He rushed over, and there, sitting on a pile of leaves, was Mr. Snuggles. Tommy was so happy that he burst into tears of joy. He picked up his teddy and hugged him tightly. From that day on, Tommy was even more careful with Mr. Snuggles. He never let go of his paw again, and they lived happily ever after. Please subscribe my channel for more upcoming amazing stories. Thanks.